Hey everybody, welcome back to FSi DFS. I'm McKinley412. Today we're looking at this main slate on Saturday. I don't got a lot of time. I'm just going to put that out right away. I don't have the full sheet either, but I do have the pitchers up here. But I just want to get a video out just to even do some cliff notes, get you guys on like a brief overview of what the slate's looking like. Some things we have to pay attention to are weather. It looks like Washington, the rain percentage chance there is around 70%. KC, it's around 60%, and New York, 35%. Changes throughout the day, so just pay close attention up until lock. Pitching, it's pretty ugly. All around, all things considered, Peralta is absurdly expensive at 10.7K. I'm going to probably be spending a lot of time in the mid-tier here. I do kind of like the Ashcraft down to Disclafani. And even Lorenzen's cheap, but he's coming off of the IL. So always a word of caution with that. So let's just talk about it real quick here. Peralta. A tough matchup, but clearly like the one guy who has the highest ceiling on the entire slate. But 10.7K, that's going to be a hefty price tag. To jam into your lineups. But I think for cash, you could go there. It's not a lock by any means. I don't think any pitcher is a lock on this slate. Just because it's a tough matchup, and that's a pretty hefty price tag to pay. Molly, not interested in over 10K. Like, I can't stomach paying 5 figures for a guy like Tyler Mahle when really, there's average or serviceable pitching kind of throughout. Like, there's not great pitching, so why pay up so much money for a guy at 10.1K when you could get a guy who's in a similar spot with a similar K rate, if not a little bit better K rate, for like 2,000 cheaper. So that's why I'm not really interested in Mahle at all. Honestly, you can even throw him into the fade category on the sheet. Nick Pivetta is the one guy that I do have interest in here. 9.2K. Pivetta is the one guy who's been able to shut down Tampa Bay offense this season. He went 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 6 Ks, and he looked good in the start before that. So Pivetta is probably going to be my favorite of like the top 5 guys outside of Peralta and salary and all that stuff. But yeah, he's been fine. 9.2K, don't mind him there. Going into this mid-tier from DeSclafani all the way down to like Ashcraft, it's a pretty wide mid-tier from 8.9 to 7.2. I like DeSclafani, I like Ashcraft, I like Lugo, Elder, you can even throw some interest in there as well, and Carrasco. Carrasco, he's more of a boomer bust pitcher, but going up against Oakland, like, this is his time to shine. These are the games that he shines in. Should be able to do it. 8.6K, rough to start the season, but, he should bounce back. Again, he's more of a boomer bust guy, but I think he's trending more towards the boom play. DeSclafani, going up against Detroit, great matchup. We're always going to be picking on Detroit here, so a lot of interest in him there. I do have Ashcraft as my top guy. Going up against Philly, sounds a little strange, but he's the cheapest of like these mid-tier guys at 7.2K. At home, going up against Philly, who actually have the highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching so far this season. It actually updated. They're tied. Just kidding. I pulled this up last night. It must have updated. But versus right-handed pitching, Philly, they're tied. 26.3% K rate, so do have quite some interest in there. I actually just noticed San Diego, 26.3 as well against right-handed pitching. Might have some interest in Freddie Peralta here. Who knows? Maybe I got more interest in Peralta than I thought I did. I completely blanked on that when I was looking at the K rates there. So Peralta. Intriguing. But Ashcraft I do think is really interesting at 7.2K. He doesn't have a super high K rate, but like nobody else does. Like DeSclafani and Ashcraft have very similar K rates. Lugo's got like the highest K rate of these guys going up against Milwaukee, so I do like Lugo as well. But yeah, I just know it's on the time. I gotta get going here. As far as like the cheap tiers, maybe Lorenzen going up against San Francisco, but he's coming off the IL, so I don't know how deep he's gonna go. He might only go like 3-4 innings, so there's a risk there, but everybody else just have no interest in at all. In terms of the bats, New York Mets are going to be my favorite going up against Fujinami, who's looked terrible to start the season so far in both of his starts. A lot of command issues. Look at how many walks he's dealing. He's played some tough matchups, but he's facing the Mets. The other thing about this is the Mets put up 17 runs last night on Oakland. Oakland depleted a lot of their bullpen, so they're going to be hoping Fujinami can go fairly far into the game. So if he's seeing some early trouble in like the first and second inning, like they're going to say, suck it up, dude. Like we used all of our bullpen last night. Keep it going. So I do think that the Mets are the clear number one offense on this entire slate in terms of stacking. Cincinnati, I think, can be a really interesting stack once again, going up against Strom for Philadelphia. Strom doesn't go super deep into games. He's only getting like 60, 70 pitches. So then again, the Philly bullpen has been statistically one of the worst in the entire league so far this season, which is ironic because they spent so much money on fixing it, but I think Cincinnati can be a very intriguing GPP play in terms of that. It worked for us a couple days ago when we went with this strategy, and it worked. Other teams I'd be interested in are like Cleveland facing Washington. You do have to pay attention to the rain there. I think Atlanta could be intriguing. Maybe people see how well Bubic has been playing so far this season, or pitching so far this season, and get some salary on or ownership on him. If that's the case, I'm going to be heavy on Atlanta. His strikeout rate is not what we've seen this season. Like he's exceeding expectations by a wide margin. So Atlanta could be a nice leverage spot if you do see that Bubic is seeing quite a bit of ownership. Just kind of like browsing through, see who else I might have some interest in. It would just kind of be like stick with the Mets, stick with Cleveland. St. Louis. Don't mind St. Louis. I think I saw they had like the third highest implied total on the entire slate. So you can definitely go for them. St. Louis has had their ups and downs though. Man, I can't believe that they could not hit Velasquez, but then they can come out and generate 10 plus runs on any other given slate. So they're kind of like the Carrasco. They're like the boom or bust team so far this season on offense, but I do think that they're quite interesting. Yankees, reverse splits Molly, so go with the righties. For the Yankees, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much where I'm going on. But that's kind of slate. Sorry, it wasn't more. Sorry, I don't have too much more of the rankings, but I was really short on time here. Do got to get going, but I want to get this video out. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. You don't even have to listen to all of it. You could just, stick on the screen and go from there. But thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Pay attention to the weather. I'm loving the mid-tier and guys like Peralta and Pavetta moving forward. All right, see ya.